Welcome to the Gaming Coop, the best space to talk about me Lucky Charms. Let's introduce today's players. Player 1. Ow, fuck.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just sometimes when I think of someone really sweet, I get a toothache. It's Walsh!
Aw.
Player 2. It's the Chris man with the Chris plan, the wubba dubba ski doo bia bow chow chow wow. Yeah, it's Chris, waka waka.
Oh.
What was that?
I know which one Anthony wrote.
You're 100% correct.
If you find player 3 in the woods with a yellow exclamation point above her head, she'll give you a side quest to destroy capitalism. It's Kelsey.
So true.
Yay.
Player 4. Fallout? Fallout of what? It's Anthony. And player 5's John, get ready to have some kids. It's Gabe and Matt.
Wait, are we having children? Hang on, I'm
What?
not ready for this.
What is happening?
Neither am I. I hit my
does that
microphone.
That is, so full disclosure, I collaborated with Walsh on this one because we both had you guys, and since you guys are doing the same game,
Yeah.
He was like, all right, I usually do a Pixar film. What Pixar film do you want to pull from? I was like, let's do Wall or just an animated film, I should say. I said Wall-E.
Okay.
And so that's where that's from.
All right, cool.
Welcome everyone to the Gaming Coop. This is our March edition, and so one of the ideas that we had for the segment, because it is St. Paddy's Day, is it's after St. Paddy's Day, but it's the month of, so we decided to do games that have luck-based components to it. So it's a little bit of an obscure topic, but we were able to everyone was able to nail down a game that had that kind of element to it, and to talk about how it actually incorporates luck, which is something I personally don't love in video games, but if executed well, I can respect. So we're going to start off with a game that everyone has played, everyone has experienced in some capacity. It is Tetris. Take it away, Walsh.
Hello. So I'm going to be discussing Tetris 99, which I found out about. It's pretty late to the game, but also when it comes to playing games, I also like to be very cheap because I'm a cheapskate. But I also understand not everybody has the money to play a bunch of $60 games, and I really do appreciate that Tetris 99 is free on the Switch. And, additionally, it is this very weird. I remember hearing it described as like this Tetris Battle Royale, which is very interesting, but it really weirdly works. I've been playing a lot more recently, and the closest that I've ever gotten to winning, I've come in second twice now. And the first time I got into second, I was on call with Gabe, and I was like, "Oh man, why did the music change?" I was like, well, that's weird. Why did the music change? And then I was dying, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna die." All right, another whatever game. And then Gabe informed me, you were probably like, was it the Final 2 music? And I was like, the what? Yeah, I did not know that was a thing, which the music was very scary. But other than that, I've always really enjoyed Tetris, and Tetris 99 adds a very, very strange but fun twist to it, to where if you enjoy playing Tetris, I would definitely recommend doing that.
Yeah. So talk to me about how the luck kind of comes into it, like in terms of obviously there is certain ways that you could set up your situation in that game where it's like how you target specific people in order to kind of get them out, so that way you can keep on moving along. But for you, how does luck in your eyes kind of really play a factor in everything?
I mean, really, very specifically, not only is the order of the blocks that you're going to get, that will be completely random, but you're playing with 98 other people, It's kind of up in the air as to what could happen, who's going to target who, and it can be hard to predict. You know, you can go into a game. At least for me, I'm no Tetris god, but I could go into the game with a mindset of like, I'm gonna make it to the top, and then I only get like to like the 50th place, and then another time I'll be like, oh, I'll just do my best, see what happens, and then I'm in the top 10.
Yeah.
Where luck definitely does play a big factor in it, at least from my point of view.
Yeah. Anyone have experience playing Tetris 99 and want to share their kind of stories of dealing with that, dealing with the pressure of that?
I do.
Yeah.
All right, so I've been kind of born and raised with Tetris, so I like to think I'm at least decent at it. Pretty consistently, I can make it into the top 5, but I've only actually won one time, which was around the time the game first released. So, but
yeah.
Unlike me, my brother, he's just a master at Tetris. Like, just generally, he's really quick on his feet, so he can get out of really sticky situations at whatever time. And just to put this in perspective, my brother once had a 6-hour game of Tetris.
Wow.
This was on a road trip, so he had zero time to get in. He had like no interruptions, so he played until the DS battery died.
Holy shit! And that's wait. So then, like, did his score get saved, or at least, or no? It's just that
it was Tetris Axis, I believe, on a 3DS. So he did get on like the top 75 on the leaderboard at that time, like in the world.
Wow.
And so putting that into perspective, he pretty much gets first places extremely consistently because he enjoys Tetris that much that he can just get results very often.
That's wild.
Wow.
My experience with it, I'm not very, I didn't grow up with Tetris necessarily. I've had it for like, I've played it on like Game Boy Advance like once or twice or whatever, but like I never was super into it. I enjoy the Tetris 99 what it does because I think it's like I remember me, Kelsey, and Anthony would sit in like and we would just pass the controller around and give our best shot as to see how far we would go. I think I have to remember how far up. I don't think I made it too far. I think I got to like maybe like outside the top 10 once, but I don't think I've ever repeated that before. But it is it's an exciting twist on it all, and I think it's really well executed. So much so that they kind of made like a similar game in Super Mario 35, which is not that as good. But who cares? Because that game's gonna be dead in a week or so. So, but it is a fun concept of like these usual single player games all of a sudden having people like pit against each other in that sense, and like the amount of luck that it's gonna need to take to beat 100 people in any battle royale situation is a lot, and especially with a game like Tetris, it's like you just have to hope that enough people are targeting someone that they go down, and that enough people are targeting other people so that way they go down, and so that you just have to that you can just get stack the blocks and make sure you're all good. Anyone else on Tetris?
Yeah, I think it's really cool that there's apparently a lot of older gamers who like showed up to the game with all these years of like accumulated Tetris experience, and they like just absolutely dominate the every match that they play. Like, I think it's so amazing that Tetris can bridge a generational gap, and that it's like a persistent, recognized gaming franchise, and that finally it's gone multiplayer, and a lot of people are just finding that they have the ability to compete with it. So I really like it.
100%. All right, moving forward, we're returning to a few games that we've talked about in the past, but just more specifically focus on the luck point of view of them. we're going to start with Animal Crossing, which is my topic. And there's a lot of like different luck things that are involved with Animal Crossing, like just the random, and specifically talking about like New Horizons, like the which recipes you get every single day, to how the stock market's going to work out, what the prices are going to be, that whole thing. For me, I want to focus on on the luck of villagers. And the luck of what villagers that you will get in a specific time, in a specific way. And so, in the past, when it comes to Animal Crossing, I remember the first game, GameCube, you had like, I want to say close to like 20 villagers in your town. Random villagers that would come, and they like move as quickly as they arrive. I remember where I had 2 GameCube save data things, memory cards, and I would like go back and forth between the 2 towns on those 2 cards, and whenever I would travel back and forth via the train station, I would come back to a town and like a villager would just randomly be gone, no goodbye, no anything, it would just be gone, and so there was that random chance of that. And then there was Wild World, City Folk, and New Leaf, which I think all kind of had a similar, villager mechanic where they would have like a certain cap in terms of how many villagers there would be per town. I think it was like 8 in Wild World, 12 in City Folk, and like 9-ish in New Leaf, something along those lines. And then from there, New Horizons came, and New Horizons had a whole new kind of lottery system that they've implemented, where you have more control as to what villagers you have in your town, and that is done through the islands. So basically, you could have a maximum of 10 villagers in your town at one time, and you can't. There's no way to change that. In the past, I think you could. There was like a chance that you might have like one more villager than the usual or not, but everyone at all times for the most part will have 10 villagers. But what's interesting is that instead of a villager randomly deciding that they want to leave, you could tell them no. You could just say do not leave, and they will stay, which kind of happened in the past games, but not as definitively. And then if you tell them to leave, you have the ability to then find a villager that you want, if you have the Nook Miles for it, and move them into your town. So essentially how that works is that if you have an open lot, you have a bunch of Nook Mile tickets, you go from island to island, and there will be a random villager that shows up there. You can choose to offer a home to them, or you can choose not to. If you do end up offering a home up, then that villager will come and fill up that spot. If not, by the end of the day, there'll be a random villager that will fill that spot that's opening your town. So basically, you have that 24-hour period during that day to find a villager that you want to move in. And it's kind of this fun lottery system where it's like, you get to choose, but it's going to still be random. It's like you can't just like pick and choose the specific villager that you want. We're going to give you a selection based off of how many times you travel to an island, and from that slate that you were presented, you choose which one. And if you decide, like if you go to one island and you see a villager that you kind of like but you don't want to move in, and you leave, that's it. There's a good chance you won't go see that villager again. So there's a lot of like, there's been a lot of me whenever I'm villager hunting, stopping on an island and really taking time, like, do I want this villager? I kind of want someone more, but what if everyone else I get is really shitty? I don't like. It's so much fun. I've enjoyed that. That is the biggest thing about New Horizons that I love, is this lottery system. I find it very like, it's a new awakening for me in the game, where like I'm waiting for 2 villagers to move for the last month, and once they say to me I'm ready to move, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I want to go island hopping. I have 200,000 Nook Miles. I've been stocking up on Nook Miles. Give me the opportunity, please, to search for a villager. For those who played Animal Crossing, what are your thoughts on islander hunting?
So I haven't been island hopping for a while, just because I found my 10. I have the 10 that I like, and I'm going to keep them because I get really attached to things, and I'm very attached to these specific 10. So
Sure, totally.
keeping them.
Totally.
I really like it. There was actually one instance where I had Bengal show up in my campsite, but I didn't have any open spots for her. And I didn't want her to like push out a villager that I didn't want, so I let her go. And then I found her on an island, and she said, "Oh, hey, I remember you. You're from your island, right?" It's like, yeah, I am. You remember me? That's awesome. So I moved her in, and she was my like most recent villager, and I was just like, that was such a cool little thing that they did. So I was glad to have like had to have passed up this one villager, but then got to get her later on.
Yeah, that happened multiple times with me too. And so it does come back around, but it is a risk if you skip one.
Yes,
for sure. Because
yeah.
if you do kind of like them, that might be your only chance.
The hardest one for me to say no to was Audie. I got Audie the fox.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I like all my villagers, and I don't want to get rid of them. So
yeah, completely understand that.
I like the system. I mean, in past games, it was like, if you didn't do things just right, your favorite villager would move out. It's like, whatever, deal with it. I think that the Nook Mile system is still not the best solution for it, but I think it is at least a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think that you kind of like spend a long time building up these Nook Miles, and then you like go through a very tedious process of like not only buying the tickets to re-gamble the villagers, but also the whole process of actually like constantly going to islands to find them, and knowing that like I don't really like this villager, but I've got like 5 tickets left and I don't hate them. So it has its ups and downs, I think.
Sure. I think I like the Nook Mile system for the most part. Just because I think it's fun, like, it gives you something to do. If you are invested in Nook Miles, you actually have a reason to log in every day and be like, all right, today's assignment, sell 5,000 bells, or sign something for 5,000 bells, catch 5 things, dive for 5 things. It kind of, I like that it gives you like a little bit of a task list, like, hey, if you do this, you get some miles. I do think it could be better, a little bit more refined in some ways, but I totally think that it's a improvement upon past games where it was so like, all right, yeah, I'm done, see ya. It's just like, oh, what?
New Horizons needing refinement. Whack.
Did you ever get the Nook Miles achievement thing where it's like engage the Nooklings in a duel? Because that one's always weird to me.
Yeah, I usually ignore that. I usually don't do that.
All right. Because it always seems like, amoral or something.
Yeah, they show like these little cartoon characters of them like with swords. It's like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That.
But just, and I you can stop me if you feel like this is just going to completely derail everything. But with like the luck system, something outside of the villagers thing, if I can just touch on that for a second, is what I think is interesting is the luck or not luck, unluckiness of having to get the recipes, and how in certain times a year, you have the seasonal recipes that you're trying to get. Usually it's through the balloons, and how every other season seems to be a little, I think, light on our ability to gather recipes. But guys, Egg Day is coming.
Egg Day.
And it just seems like I wake up in a cold sweat at night. I hear the wind howling through the trees outside, and I start to reach for my non-existent slingshot, and I'm traumatized. I will not be partaking this year, most likely, unless they change something about it. But I just think it's interesting how, in my opinion, how imbalanced some of the luck is in the game, like chances and odds of collecting certain things.
Sure.
You have Egg Day, and then you have, on the opposite side of things, like the fall event and collecting mushroom recipes. I think I got 2 mushroom recipes, and I played every day.
All right, I'm gonna say this is what I'm gonna say on that regard. I think they planned Egg Day before the idea of a pandemic.
Okay.
So they didn't expect everyone to spend all day in Egg Day.
For many days.
For many days. Yes.
So sad. Like, I was partway through my recovery of COVID, and I swear it made me, like, regress slightly.
And
My
then they
lungs
realized
refilled
they
with
got
water.
the feedback at how much people hated Egg Day. And so they toned down things for the other
And they toned it
events.
down. And
Yeah.
But are they going to tone down Egg Day?
Yeah.
Do you think that they're going to have revamped Egg Day?
I think that Egg Day will be revamped. I don't know for sure, but there's,
Really?
there's a chance.
We'll see.
I would be really curious to see, because if not,
Yeah.
I'm going to cry a lot. So...
We'll see. They are adding, in terms of Easter stuff, they're already adding some things that you could buy from the Nook and Go, whatever it is now. It's Nook's Cranny still.
Yeah, we know.
They do have things that there's like seasonal items that you could buy Easter wise there. I think that's the only change from last year, but I could be wrong. Any other thoughts on Animal Crossing Luck?
I just wanted to touch back on the villager island hopping thing. Like, I recently did some island hopping, and I had a specific few villagers that I had in mind. I wasn't able to get them, but I did find one that I really liked, which was Kabuki.
Yes.
But one thing that I would wish that they would implement is, like, to find villagers of a certain personality type. Like, you're not specifying which, like, animal type or which specific one you want to look for. It's just in that list of villagers, you have a better chance of finding who you want, but while not giving it to you directly.
Yeah.
That's one thing I would want in either, like, this is just like a vain hope because it's never gonna happen. But
I get
it's
it.
just like, it's something that would be cool.
Yeah, like it would be nice if they kind of like tailored it a bit. I don't know. I don't mind the randomness of it, but I totally get what you're saying though. Like, I think it would be nice if you are looking for something specific, like, to have that ability. Anthony, you were gonna say something.
Yes. So, I learned of this mastermind system to, like, just going briefly back to the floating balloon present DIYs where you get, like,
Yeah.
one seasonal DIY every, like, 5 hours if you're lucky.
Mhm.
I realized from a post that the jail bar item is too tall for balloons to cross over. So they just kind of, like, pass around it. So one side of my island is completely jailed off. Like, from the top of the island all the way to the bottom, it's just jail bars. And so what happens is I can sit at one point on the beach, and every single balloon, no matter where it's spawned from, where it's going, will always float directly over me. So
It's ingenious.
I just sit there and I just collect the DIYs, and I still don't get all the fall series Nintendo.
They're like, we know you're gaming the system. How dare you?
Seriously.
All
So
right.
what Anthony's saying is that somebody built a wall, and it was him.
Yes. But it
Clear
was
reference to the song from Shrek the Musical.
yes. Yeah. That's what it was. Anyways, we're moving on to another happy, fun simulation game. We're headed back to the world of Pelican Town in Stardew Valley. What you got, Kelsey?
Okay, so luck is actually quite a large component in Stardew Valley. It's something that's kind of just passively there. And at first, when I was playing, I didn't even realize that it was like a thing and something that you can actually get some sort of insight to from day to day. So a lot of what happens in Stardew Valley is, in some aspects, I'd say that the game has like a collectathon element to it, in that you are required to find and collect specific things in order to help repair part of the town. And then special items will unlock for you long term based off of drops that you'll get from enemies in the caves and things like that. And those things are directly influenced by luck in the game. So there's a thing called daily luck, and your daily luck changes from day to day. And you can figure out what a day's luck is going to be by actually accessing a television in your home. And there's a fortune teller channel that you can select, and it'll give you a clue as to your luck, your base luck for that day. And so you can either be very lucky, a little lucky, neutral, with maybe like a little bit of a luck, not lucky, and then very unlucky. So that's determined from day to day. Obviously, if you're looking to go find, like, say, a rainbow shard in the caves, you're not going to want to go out on an unlucky day because you're just essentially shooting yourself in the foot by doing that. But then there are also luck buffs that certain items will give you, and then there's a special charm that you can acquire at some point in the game that permanently increases your base luck. But all that being said, like, that's luck in the game is a thing, but I want to specifically talk about a point where I got stupid lucky in the game. And this particular thing that happened has nothing to do with the daily luck as far as I know from playing the game, and as far as what I was able to find online. So in the game, at a certain point, you can unlock, without spoilers, you can unlock a casino. I'm not going to say how or when or why. But in the casino, you can play 2 different games. You can either play their version of Jack Black, which I'm also very lucky at, or you can play slots. And the slots function on the very
Wait, did you just say Jack Black?
Did I really?
You said Jack Black.
Blackjack.
You play Jack Black,
Oh,
which I'm very lucky at.
I love playing Jack
Very
Black.
lucky at Jack Black.
He's a fun guy. I enjoy him. He's a good actor.
Chris, if Jack Black would play you in a Team Cast Productions movie,
I hope so.
Fun fact.
I'd
In high school, people called Anthony Jack Black, and he really didn't like Jack Black for a while because he kept getting told that he was Jack Black. And he was like, fuck Jack Black. And then over time, he's like, Jack Black's fine. It's just that I was bullied and told I was Jack Black over and over again. Anyway, Blackjack, their version of Blackjack, which is called Calico Jack in the game. And then slots. And slots function on the basic notion of you need to get 3 of the same item in a row to earn a specific amount of money. Or you can earn, like, if you have 2 random items and then a cherry, you get a little bit. Or if you get 2 cherries, you get a little more. In the game, Star Fruit, if you get 3 Star Fruit, you get the jackpot. And the jackpot's something like, I don't remember. I can't find it here. Wait, hold on. I'm going to look it up really. Sorry, don't hate me. I'm going to look it up really.
It's okay. Dead air. Welcome to the dead air zone.
Because I tried looking at it before and I didn't actually see. I don't think anybody's actually categorically listed the different slot machine. Okay, no, I have it here. So depending, you can either bet 10 coins or 100 coins. And then the items exponentially increase. So if you get like 3 milks, you get 30 times whatever you bet. So if you bet 10, then you're going to get 300 coins back. If you bet 100, you're going to get 3,000 coins back. But the Star Fruit is times 2,500. So if you bet 100, you end up with 2.5 mil, right? Within 2 in-world days, I won the jackpot twice. And I've never won it since, but I won back-to-back jackpots in the slots.
Oh.
I won 2.5. I earned 5 million Jack Blacks, and it was really cool.
All the Jack Blacks, man.
A lot of weird noises, but it was fine. No, but what's fun though is that when you do earn that, those coins, you don't earn in-game currency. It's not like you're earning money to then go and spend outside. You can only spend it within the gift shop within the casino. And there are some exclusive things that you can buy, but the best thing that you can buy is farm totems that if you buy them anywhere you are in the map of the entirety of the little world of Pelican Town, you can be zapped back to your farm at a given moment with these totems. So I own like over 1,000 totems, and I still haven't spent all my money. I have too much money for that. And so I'll go in and I'll really recklessly play blackjack. I have to think really hard now every time I say blackjack because I'm afraid of saying it again. But so that's just funny. Like my fun little claim to fame is that I won the jackpot twice. I haven't won it since, but I won it twice back to back really close together, and it was really really cool. And then I do usually have pretty good luck with the blackjack too. But yeah, so luck is a thing in the game, but I also got really lucky and it was a fun moment. So yeah, that's
I remember the moment being in the room with you and Anthony when you guys were playing Stardew Valley that you guys discovered the casino, I believe. Like it was like a surprise, like, oh, what is this? Like,
It's
and I think you won something on that day. I don't know if it was a
The first day that I wound up in the casino, I won. That was the first day I won the blackjack.
I want to say Jack Black. I almost said Jack Black too. To be fair,
too many words. We have to move on. Somebody else speak.
To be honest, Jack Black just rolls off the tongue much more easily than blackjack.
Yep.
I agree. I'm with you.
Yep.
But yeah. So yes, it was the first day that I discovered the casino that I won the first jackpot, and then within like a day or two of that, on the same week, I won the jackpot a second time, and it was like super cool. It was just a lot of fun to have that happen, because then I essentially had exponential resources to exploit the gifts shop in that area of the game, which was really fun.
Definitely.
But yeah.
Anyone have any thoughts on Stardew Valley and its luck?
Yes. So in the casino shop, in addition to farm totems, you can also get these scarecrows that are like aliens. And I really wanted to get the jackpot, so I could just buy like 100 alien scarecrows and just put them in weird places and have them do weird things.
That is such your aesthetic. Like,
yeah. So I wasn't winning like at all, and then all of a sudden Kelsey plays for like 30 minutes for me and gets enough for me to buy like 20 alien scarecrows. So now they guard my animals and keep them safe.
Excellent. That is
so
really
pure.
That's really pure. Yeah, like that casino is really fun. What video games, just generally, this is like a little bit of a tangent. What other games have casinos in them? Because the only one I can think of is the Super Mario 64 DS, where you could play cards with Luigi. It's like a mini game.
There's the game corner in old Pokemon games.
Okay, interesting.
It's mainly slot machines.
Yeah, because I always find that interesting that when the video games incorporate that, even though it's like not even essential to the gameplay.
Yeah.
They had to take it out of more recent games, the slot machines out of more recent games, because in Europe, having gambling of any kind in your game gives you a higher age rating. So they had to take slot machines out.
Yeah.
They changed it to Voltorb Flip, everybody's favorite game.
It's not a bad game. It's just not luck based.
No, usually, the only other thing I can think of is like Borderlands had like a slot machine, but like but slot machines are just like, I mean, just kind of like a little luck gambling mini game. While like how it sounds like a casino, there's just like so much to do, you know?
Yeah. Kels, this is a poll, but I think you'll be the one to get it. Do you remember Dog's Life, the Lake Minnewawa machine, where you're in the diner?
Yes,
and then you would pull it, and it would give you food.
I was gonna say it popped out food out of it when you would like interact with it.
Yeah.
God, that's a throwback.
Yeah. I think that machine. If I remember correctly, I think that machine is used to like get like a bell that is needed for like a mission or some sort. I could be wrong, but that was like a weird like little thing that like all of a sudden a dog would go up on his hind legs and pull the lever and go back down.
Yeah, I do remember that. You're right. That's funny.
It's so dumb. I fucking love that game. With that, we move on to our mid segment. Walsh, you got a lottery going on the internet, on the interwebs.
Yeah, so a couple days ago, I had put up on my art account, I had asked people to, retweet on Twitter or to like and follow on Instagram. Well, specifically on Twitter, retweet and follow, because I'm a whore for the follows. And then you'd be entered in this little lottery commission, which I've done contests like these before, but usually I pick them randomly. Instead, I thought it would be really fun, considering that we're discussing luck, to have you guys be the one who decides the winner. So, First, I'm going to have each of you in Discord order. Well, first, I'm going to post 3 pictures in our chat here. And without any repeats, we'll go in Discord order, but I want each of you to choose a Smash character from the ones listed.
All right.
So Anthony first.
So I'm going to pick My main, Samus, number 4.
Okay. I will go with... Let's go Jigglypuff at 12.
I have to go Bowser 14.
Give me Kirby 6.
I gotta go my boy Ness, number 10.
Okay. Now everybody remember their numbers for just a moment.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Or
All
we
right.
can go back to it. The pictures aren't.
Yeah, the pictures are there. Yeah.
Now, what we're going to do, and I will share my screen with, well, unfortunately without the audience, but for my friends here, I've made a little wheel here with everybody's names on
Ooh.
it. I will now click the spin. And whoever's name it lands on, the number associated, which is associated with a person, will be the winner. Just lands on Kelsey.
Yay,
Kelsey!
Kelsey!
So
Yeah.
Pops up with all the confetti.
I told you I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. So that's Kirby, which is number 6.
Yes. And that goes to the Puppy Man on Instagram.
I love that name.
All right.
All right.
Go Puppy Man.
Congratulations.
So
Congratulations, Puppy Man.
I do also, like, I wrote down, like, physically, like, a list on a piece of paper and, like, put all of them on it. And I even have somebody else here so they know that I didn't cheat or try to...
He cheated.
What?
That is excellent. So congratulations to the Puppy Man
Yes.
on that one. Yeah, before we move forward here, I just want to give Kelsey a chance to have the floor on something very important.
Thank you, Chris. So I've asked to have the floor for a moment before we continue with the podcast. As I hope everyone here and everyone listening at home is aware, we've seen a massive uptick in the amount of hate crimes against the Asian American and Pacific Islanders, or AAPI, community over the last year in America. We've witnessed an increase in hateful, bigoted, and racist commentary across the world in response to the COVID-19 crisis, fueled by the misplaced blame on people from China and by association, the global Asian and Pacific Islander community. It is reprehensible for these things to continue without acknowledging them, and irresponsible to not recognize that each day we hold the power to, at a bare minimum, put forth statements of support and calls to action regarding the safety and livelihoods of the AAPI community, of which we count some of our own friends and family. On March 16th, an individual took it upon himself to murder 8 people in a premeditated assault that has been confirmed as motivated by anti-Asian, anti-sex worker, misogynistic, white supremacist sentiments. Not only was this terroristic act in and of itself indefensible, but the absurd apologist statements made in defense of the assailant and subsequent mishandling of the victims' identities in the days that followed have further underscored the lack of empathy and care given to the AAPI community by law enforcement and the media. We've made it known on our social media pages and in brief statements on other podcast episodes across our various shows that this space is not held for the purpose of political discussion. However, I am speaking today to explicitly state that advocating for basic human rights and showing empathy and compassion for marginalized groups is not and should not be a political stance. With that, I'd like to remind our viewers that in this coop, we believe that love is love, science is real, women's rights are human rights, Black Lives Matter and trans lives matter. No human is illegal, kindness is everything, and we must do our part to speak out against and stop Asian hate and the crimes committed against the AAPI community. For more information and resources on how to do your part, please visit stopaapihate.org. That's stopaapihate.org. Thank you.
Extremely well said.
Yes.
Well done.
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything else that we could add on that. Just please, this is if you believe that, if you are in any way someone that supports white supremacy and or anything along those lines, you are not welcome in this community. That is the bottom fucking line. So
You can kindly fuck off.
kindly fuck off. Yeah, maybe not
Yeah.
even kindly.
Not to follow a very well said statement with crudeness, but
Oh no, kindly fuck off.
No, kindly, please fuck off. Anyways, so yeah, I definitely I'm glad that we said these things, and I think it's really important that we just keep
especially
on speaking out.
Especially since this is a gaming podcast, and the video game industry would not be what it is without Asian influence.
Yeah. And or just generally, like, I think the gaming community is not, like, I think that marginalized people are such an important part of the gaming community, and like, and I think it's so important that we keep on uplifting them, because there's so many people in the industry who are also willing to want to stomp them down, and I say we're not for that. We're here to support you.
And I'll even add that on top of that, especially in gaming communities, a lot of toxicity and just bad vibes can really bad vibes. I'm joking because I'm using humor to cover up a serious situation. But a lot of toxicity can really run rampant in a lot of gaming communities, and a lot of people who find video games as an outlet. So I really do appreciate the statement that you've put together, Kelsey, because it really, puts together everything that we stand by.
I mean, and also I just had in mind, like, our really good friend Mickey and our friend Jamie, like, people with families that are absolutely at risk by this increased hate, and it's upsetting, to say the least. So we must make the statement when we have a platform, and when we can.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves to feel safe, and a lot of us take that for granted. So it's important that we stand up to make sure that everybody can live the life that they deserve to.
Now, there's no easy transition to this, because we're just gonna keep on talking games now. But obviously, that doesn't devalue any of the statements that have been said. Let's go to a desolate wasteland in Fallout.
Yeah, so Fallout. I'm going to be talking about the newer 3D Fallouts. So like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4, which is sadly the last Fallout game they ever made, so far at least. Which is a joke because they made an MMO Fallout. But so in Fallout you have a bunch of core stats that all spell out the word special, and most of them are pretty boring. But luck is the L, and it is really cool in a lot of different ways. So in all of them, luck just kind of makes you a little bit better at everything. And I guess that's just to, like, make it be like, oh, you got lucky with that shot or whatever. But in each game, they do some different things. So in Fallout 3, you have somebody called the Mysterious Stranger. And based on how much luck you have, he'll show up when you're fighting enemies to finish them off. And then he disappears. He just goes away, never to be seen again until the next time you get lucky. Fallout New Vegas kind of takes the luck a little bit and invests it more into the main gameplay loop. In New Vegas, the idea is that there's like this, it's called quote-unquote the Strip. And it's where a lot of the post-apocalyptic societies kind of like moved into this casino area in Las Vegas and repurposed it, but they still have all of the gambling, the machines, the blackjack, the Jack Black. If you increase your luck stat, you can actually, more often than not, win when gambling. And if you push it too far, it'll go from the point where they're like, wow, you're really a big spender, like, why don't you spend the night in one of our rooms as a compensation, to get out and never come back because you're doing something fishy and we don't like it. And there are other little flavor tidbits thrown in when you have a really high luck stat. For example, there's a character who has a brain tumor, and if you have a luck stat that's 9 out of a maximum of 10, you can just wildly operate and remove the tumor, and he's totally fine.
What the fuck? What the hell is this game?
And there are other spots where it's like you just so happen to guess the password to the computer because you're lucky, I guess.
You can either perform a widely impossible surgery, or you can guess a password.
Yeah. No, it's great. It lets you, you can spec into a luck build, and the game rewards you for it. And Fallout 4 is probably my favorite implementation of luck in all the games. So in the 3D Fallout games, they have a system called VATS, and that's essentially targeted assistance. Like, your AI kicks in, and you see your enemies show up, and it freezes time, and you get to, look at their body parts and be like, alright, I have an 80% chance of shooting their legs. Their legs have this much health left until they become crippled, so I'm going to shoot their legs twice, and then go for a headshot. And then your character, executes all of those shots with, split-second accuracy, and it happens, and sometimes it happens good, and other times it just kind of sucks and falls flat. But Fallout 4 bakes luck into VATS, and what you can do is that you can bank critical hits. So, you just play the game normally, you use VATS, and, you dispatch a bunch of enemies normally. Then you build up a critical hit, and you can hold on to this critical hit until you really want to use it. And then you go into the big boss of a final area, take out your missile launcher, and use your banked critical shot to instantly kill them. With a critical rocket blast that not only takes them out, but takes out everybody near them.
Wow.
The new mobile Pikmin game sounds really intense. I don't know about this.
Wow.
And it does other things too, when you find supplies, you find more of them if you're lucky, which is cool. Mysterious Stranger is still there. But the capstone luck skill is Ricochet. And what that means is every so often when enemies shoot you, the bullets bounce off of you and go back and hit them instead. And when you invest into that, that can also get you free critical that you can bank for other shots later on. So I have made a Fallout 4 character that is almost maxed out in speech and almost maxed out in luck and really bad at everything else. And I'm looking forward to just talking and lucking my way through every kind of situation I can.
I've got a question.
Yes.
How many critical hits can you bank?
So when you invest into the critical banker skill, you can bank up to 3 critical hits.
It's not that many.
So yes.
I've seen more.
I've seen more critical
bigger.
But they kind of they balance it out because an automatic weapon, one hit counts as 3 or 4 bullets. So it'll be a burst of shots. On the other hand, you can literally launch mini nuclear warheads. So banking a crit for those is really great.
Chris's faces are just cracking me up because he does not play anything like this. This is so above and beyond wild for Chris.
I get the appeal. I think it sounds awesome to do, but oh my god, when you said actually you on my end you cut out at the end, which I'm guessing everyone else heard, but when you said mini nuclear warheads, I'm just what in the world's happening in Fallout? I mean, I get it. Again, Fallout is one of those absurd the world has ended and now it is just anything goes type situation in that game. But wow, there's a lot going on in it.
There are a few points where you gotta fight this 20-foot tall creature that is the mutated cousin of a horseshoe crab, and so you kind of depend on critical hits to make it move slower and not spit acid at you. So these things definitely come in handy.
I'm just going back to my time when I played playing Half-Life for the first time and how creeped out by all the enemies I was, and I'm just Man, I hope that no other game is like this, and I'm just hearing Fallout description. It's just like, oh, okay. Well, obviously there's so much worse out there, but it's just whenever I hear like creepy enemy designs like that, I'm just like, oh. But I it's hard for me to like even wrap my head around like a lot of that stuff. It's just because that's just not the type of game that I would play. But it is cool though that like it almost sounds like I don't know why it just when you were saying like earning luck and things like that, it reminds me so much of our Monster of the Week campaign and stuff like that, where you're kind of like, but instead of like instead of it just already being there and then you using it, you are earning it over time and building it up so that way your luck gets better as the game goes on, which I think is interesting.
What it really reminds me of is in Dungeons and Dragons, because you can take certain feats when you reach a certain level. There's one called the Lucky Feat, where every time that you long rest, you basically get 3 luck points, and you can spend one of your luck points to re-roll any roll or have advantage on a roll. And it just reminds me of it, because then it leads you to just be a lot more lucky.
Yeah, well, it leads to kind of more opportunities and ideas of like how to approach a certain situation because you have the luck on your side on that front. And I'm sure that like you were kind of talking about, it comes in handy when you're fighting those big horseshoe crabs or things like that. So yeah, that's interesting, and I appreciate that this is the second game we're talking about with Jack Black in it.
Yeah,
he's been working. He's been doing a lot of work.
Doing a lot.
Sorry, Kelsey.
Jack Black made a video game.
I know.
I love Jack Black. You don't have to apologize to me.
Jack Black works in mysterious
ways.
ways.
Brutal Legend, which I own. I haven't finished, but it's a Double Fine game. So
yeah, Brutal Legend, and he's going to be in the upcoming Psychonauts 2, which is exciting too. So he loves video games. He's on Let's Plays and stuff. Like he's chill.
He likes Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's where he wants to be.
Yeah. I think that if I have to put my faith behind any celebrity anymore, I'll put my faith behind Jack Black and just cross my fingers and hope that nothing bad ever happens.
Post it onto poorly aged things like.
Yes, no, I know. That's why I'm like, I don't know, but that's what I'm hoping. Anyways, last but not least, we enter the world of Pokemon with our good friends from the Illinois. Give me that.
All right, Gabe, do you want to start or should I?
You start, because there's a lot more intricacies with yours.
Yeah, so Gabe and I are essentially going to talk about the 2 different types of Pokemon battles, one being singles, one being doubles. Were we doing that, or were we doing competitive and shiny hunting?
We were doing that, but I can go over that in mine, because
Okay.
I'm probably not going to have nearly as much to talk about as you will.
Okay, cool. So Pokemon competitive Pokemon battling is what I like to call a game of luck manipulation. It's very strategic, and there's a lot of planning that goes into things in terms of like what team you want to use, what moves you want to use, how you want to train them, all the things that you would expect from like being a Pokemon trainer, right? But luck still plays a huge factor into how well the result of a game happens. There's different things like how accurate is the move. A lot of moves are 100% accurate. Some are 90. Some are 70. And if they're 70% accurate, they're actually 30% accurate. It feels like. It's yeah. It's like, can you rely on predicting your opponent to move the way that you think that they are, or is it going to be, or do you get that prediction wrong? There's a chance for it to work, and there's a chance for it not to work, and it's basically just about putting yourself in the best position to win, while still having to rely on luck. Whether it's the moves themselves or what your opponent is doing, it is all about making sure that you put the luck in your court. And I really over the years I've really found out that games of luck manipulation tend to be my favorite. Hence why I'm very into fantasy football. It's the same thing. You can put a ton of planning. You can structure things however you want to plan it. But if you're unlucky, if things don't go the way that you are expecting it to, then Alvin Kamara scores 50 points against you on Christmas Day.
It happens. You're scarred by that, huh?
Yep. Or like there's a very famous example. My competitive Pokemon specialty is doubles, where you have two Pokemon out on the field. And one of the most famous instances of luck going wrong is when a guy by the name of Aaron Zane missed the move Will-O-Wisp 3 times in a row. And Will-O-Wisp is an 85% accurate move. So 0.85 times 3. Let me do that math real fast.
Math. It hurts.
That's not it. 0.85
you could just hear
times 0.85 times 0.85 is what I should do it.
You could see that like that Homeland gif of like the woman with all the symbols around her thinking.
Yes. All right, so that's like a 61%. That's like a 40% chance to happen. Where it's like if you lands one of those, he wins the game. He wins Worlds, which is the thing. If you win Worlds, you're the champion. And he missed 3 of them, so he did not win as a result. So you can put all this planning in. You can be one of the best players. Still doesn't work.
Yeah. Can I just put something into perspective?
Yeah.
Okay, for me, I am generally an unlucky person in real life. However, in Pokemon, I get insane things that happen. Like, you were here with me, Matt, when it happened. I got a VGC match. I got 3 freezes in one game. And I still lost.
And all freezes are 10% chances.
So that was
so to get
3
3
moves
of them is...
They have a 10% chance to freeze. And they could also miss.
Yeah, 3 in a row is a 1 in 1,000 shot.
And I still
It wasn't
lost.
in a row, but...
That's wild. That's insane. The deep like how deep each move in Pokemon is just wild to me. Like the chances of everything, how if they miss or not. Like, oh my god, you guys tire me out when I think about, when you guys talk about Pokemon.
Also...
No, not actually, but like the idea, just the idea of like all having memorized all this stuff. I'm just
there's
like,
so
oh
much
my
stuff
god.
you need to know because you need to know type knowledge.
Yeah.
Type matchups. You need to know speed tiers. Like, how fast is this Pokemon? Am I going to get to move first? Because that's another big thing. If you get to move before your opponent does, you're going to do better.
Yeah. Theoretically.
You can kill them before they can hurt you.
It's like in the Mario and Luigi games where like if you stomp on it before you go into battle, like exactly. All right, you got the first move, but if they hit you before you start the battle, then it's all of a sudden like, shit, they have to go first, and I'm gonna take damage right away. Fuck.
So that's another example of manipulating your luck. Can you manipulate your Pokemon to be faster than the others? And there's ways you can do that. Different moves you can use to be like, okay, for the next few turns, my Pokemon are going to be twice as fast as yours. And there's another move that's like, okay, but what if we took the speed order and we reversed it? So now the slow Pokemon go first.
Right.
And it's like, that is like that speed control, and which is an extension of luck, is just very important to give you the best shot of winning. It's never guaranteed, but and even like even things like the amount of damage that a move actually does is random. It like generates like a series of random numbers, and you could do like within like a certain range of damage depending on a 15% range depending on Pokemon attack, Pokemon defense, the move's power, where it's like when you're just playing the casual, it's like, okay, Flamethrower is stronger than Ember.
that's literally what I do.
That's about the extent where it's like there's so much more that goes into it.
Of course.
Like you need to be lucky when you play Pokemon.
Hey,
and even
Pokemon
if you're not,
fans.
you need to... What?
Hey, Pokemon fans, I hope you were paying attention in statistics.
Exactly. No, like if you look up the formulas that come with damage calculation in Pokemon, you need a math degree to understand it.
Oh my god.
Or at least like have taken calculus.
I'm earning an applied data science master's, and I'm fucking like I cannot. This is making my brain hurt more than anything else.
You'd understand it.
You should talk about your favorite move.
What would my favorite move be?
Ally switch.
No, I'm not going to talk about that because that is the bullshittiest move. Okay, so
Bullshittiest.
I like it.
bullshittiest.
I want to use that more.
Nice.
So there is a move in doubles that's only usable in doubles called Ally Switch, and the name is the name explains what it does. You have 2 Pokemon that are out. It's 1, 2, and then 3, 4. I kind of just like did it there, but the move Ally Switch takes those Pokemon at the start of the turn and flips them. So if you were going to attack Pokemon A and Pokemon B used Ally Switch, now you're attacking Pokemon B. And that takes that element of luck manipulation and adds in a coin flip, and I hate it.
It's literally a 50-50 whether or not you're going to read your opponent doing it or whether or not your opponent reads you not doing it.
Because they either do it or they don't. And sometimes it's, okay, I have to, with my 2 Pokemon out, I have to attack both slots so that something dies.
That's wild.
It is a move that just makes things so... It takes that like good element of luck manipulation and putting it in and adds in that coin flip, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
It's considered toxic.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be so bad if only like a few Pokemon got it. Like it was like, okay, I see this. I see a fucking what's a weird
Swoobat.
Weird name. What?
Swoobat.
Okay, I see a Swoobat, or I see a Pumpernickel, and I'm like, okay, I know that Pumpernickel
Wait,
gets
I'm
Ally
sorry.
Switch.
I'm sorry.
Pumpernickel is not the name of a Pokemon. Swoobat is.
Oh, okay. I'm like, please tell me, send me a photo of what a Pumpernickel is for Pokemon.
So I see a Pumpernickel, and I know for a fact that Pumpernickel has Ally Switch, and so I'm like, okay, I can expect that as part of my game. But so many Pokemon get it that it's like some you don't even know, and then some like Rybread used Ally Switch. Who knew?
Who knew?
And then you lose a game because you use a fighting type attack into the ghost type when you didn't want to, and it's not affected, and it is annoying. It is not good luck manipulation.
So does Pumpernickel evolve into Rybread, or is it the other way around?
No, they're two separate Pokemon.
Two separate?
But
they are bred type.
I just want you to know, like, if they made Bugsnax into a Pokemon game, I would fucking play it. Like, if it as complex as that, like, I would actually fucking play it. I don't know why.
Have something for you, Chris.
I don't know why.
It's called Pokemon Sweet.
Is that really a thing where all the Pokemon are food?
It's a ROM hack where every single Pokemon is a food.
So,
I would fucking play that. Like, that's right up my alley right there.
Yeah, so for people who want to know, bread type is weak against fire and water.
and flying.
And flying.
And flying.
And ground. And...
and dark and psychic and fairy. It's everything's good.
Yeah, it's weak, but it's tasty, and that's it's tempting at least. All right, go ahead, Gabe. What's
Gabe's got
your
his
part
aspect?
All right, so for me, I'm going to be talking about a few things. I'm going to shortly talk about singles. With singles, essentially every turn is a coin flip, whether or not you're going to read your opponent. The game of singles revolves around switch initiative. So with singles, you only have 1-on-1 on the field. So it relies on reading your opponent's movements a lot. So say you have a Pokemon B versus your Pokemon A. They have a move that's good against yours. They can read you switching to a Pokemon that resists that move and then choose a different move. Or they can predict, or you can predict them to go for that and not switch at all. It's a game of 50-50s, and in a sense of comparing it to Ally Switch, it's it's pretty much a game of switching. Like, that is pretty much the biggest thing about singles. That is revolved around that metagame. Like with different Pokemon, different moves are used. Like with Ally Switch, that is a doubles exclusive move. Like it does nothing when you're using it in singles. But moves that never get any usage, like Teleport. Teleport is a move that in previous generations it did nothing. But in this generation, it allows you to switch a Pokemon after it's a negative priority move. So after you get hit, you get to switch out for free. So moves that are never used in doubles or at all in previous generations get a lot more highlights when used in singles properly. And it's just it's literally the same thing as doubles except not, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Moving on.
My real quick, my favorite strategy. This is getting a little bit away from the doubles bit. Anytime that I can use one Pokemon in doubles to buff up the other one, I will take.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this Pokemon called Colossal, and Colossal has an ability that when it gets hit by a fire or water type move, its speed multiplies by 4. So it gets real fucking fast. Combine that with an item called Weakness Policy, which is where if it gets hit by a super effective move, its attacks double. Both of its attack stats double.
Wow.
So you can do that in one turn by like using the move Surf and activate Steam Engine, activate the Weakness Policy, so it's now 4 times faster and twice as strong.
In one turn.
So in one turn. And then the very next move it kills something.
Wow. It's just wild. This is wild.
It's great.
Doubles is fun.
Yeah. Just a random, hey, we could just fuck shit up like just one foul swoop. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. Your battle, your chances. You went from 90 to 10 in just one turn.
All right. Now I'm gonna go over one of my favorite things to do whenever I play Pokemon. It's shiny hunting.
Yeah.
In regular gameplay, like with no modifiers or anything, it is a 1 in 5,000 or so chance of getting a shiny Pokemon. That is
4,086.
4,086. Okay, so 4,086 chance of finding one shiny Pokemon, and that is completely random as to when or how you will encounter it. There are modifiers that can increase your chances to find a shiny Pokemon, such as whenever you complete the Pokedex, the main Galar Pokedex, you will get something called the Shiny Charm, which significantly increases your shiny odds by half. So it halves that number, so that it becomes 2,000 something, because I'm gay and I can't do math.
2043.
2043. Yes, thank you. So 2043. So that significantly increases your chances of finding one, but it's still a massive number to dodge. That's where breeding comes in. With breeding, if you have a Pokemon from a different region, whether it be from France or like the Netherlands. No, fucking never mind.
Just another
region. Just another region. So from the world, like France is the Europe, and then there's Japan, and then there's Korea, just different places where Pokemon can come from. If you breed it with a Pokemon from your own region, that further increases the shiny chances. What's the
I don't know what those odds are.
Okay.
I think that brings it down to about 1 in 500.
Yeah, 1 in 500 something. So if you get lucky, you can get a shiny within like under 500 eggs. If you're unlucky like me, you will get a shiny after 1,000 eggs if you're that unlucky. And but I've gotten shiny Pokemon within 20 or 30 eggs before, which is extremely cool because you get shinies.
Yeah, shinies. Those shinies are just they're just aesthetically pleasing. There's not really any other element to them.
Only difference is aesthetics.
Okay, cool.
And not all of them are aesthetically pleasing.
Yes,
Yes,
some of them look
we-
like shit.
Yeah, we've debated that off, or not me specifically.
Como is a good example of a great base form with a shit shiny.
Yeah, we've heard.
Did you
I'll
say
check
discussions about
Cuomo?
Como O.
Oh.
I don't want to invoke his name.
it.
No. As a shit form, if there's ever one.
Now, I just want to further compound upon this topic.
Yes.
Now, there's two more things that I want to talk about.
Sure.
There is the newly added Dynamax Adventures. In a Dynamax Adventure, you have four chances to catch a Pokemon. 3 of them are regular Pokemon, and then 1 of them is a legendary Pokemon. With each Pokemon you catch, you have a 1 in 100 chance of finding a shiny if you have the shiny charm. So, if you're only going for the legendary, you can have a 1 in 100 chance of finding a shiny legendary Pokemon, which I have on several occasions. It just takes a lot of grinding, and it's very time consuming, but I find it to be very worth it in the end. So that's another way you can pretty much almost guarantee a shiny if you have enough patience for it. The next thing, there is a way to guarantee your shiny is by doing a bit of manipulation with the date, with your Switch's internal clock. Now,
Ooh, like
this
Animal
does
Crossing.
require a third-party software, so if you're against that, don't do it. But I'm not, and I'm a filthy sinner, so that doesn't apply.
Totally fine. You're our favorite sinner.
Okay, so in this method, you have to go to a raid, catch the Pokemon in that raid, and then you input it into a third-party software that calculates how many of those raids you need to move forward in order to catch a shiny Pokemon. So let's say I do one that gives me a number 312. I have to move forward 312 raids in order to guarantee a shiny Pokemon. Now, this method is pretty much a guaranteed shiny if you're willing to go through with it and have patience with it, because it is extremely time consuming and it requires a very specific method of changing your Switch's clock. And if you do it wrong, you're going to have to restart the process over again from day 0 to 312 again. So it's extremely taxing, but I've done it maybe 20 or 30 times already, and it's always been worth it in my opinion. And I've used said shiny Pokemon in competitive too, so it's pretty cool. And yeah.
And how long is a raid for usually?
It varies. Whether or not you have a good matchup against it, it can take from 5 minutes to not even 30 seconds.
Okay, all right. I mean, so that's not. I mean, 312 is still a lot, but at least.
Well, he doesn't have to do the full raids. He just has to
I have to do
see
the
what
first
Pokemon
one,
it
and then I
is.
can change the date forward each day.
Yeah.
to skip a
okay,
raid.
I see. Okay, interesting.
I should have worded that better. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Wow, that's a lot. I like the shiny hunting. When you talk about shiny hunting, it just reminds me so much again of like the Animal Crossing stuff, or just generally when you're grinding to get something like a I don't know. I'm always just gonna think of the Animal Crossing terms, but just like any. Like when you're just trying to achieve something or just trying to find things and like collect things like that, like that appeals to me so much. Is obviously I talk about it all the time. Like collectathons are that's like a perfect thing. And like the idea of collecting like shinies like that. Like are you looking to try to collect every single one, or are you just collecting shinies generally?
No, just the ones I like.
Just the ones. Oh, okay, yeah.
I cannot imagine trying to do an entire shiny living dex, because people have done that before.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yep.
I would imagine.
It's not worth it in my opinion.
A living dex is one of every Pokemon, and not just like one of every Pokemon family. Like you have a Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard.
Yeah, and you have it,
and then you have the shiny version.
Yeah, the shiny versions of all 3.
Yep.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yep.
That's insane. But hey, I get the commitment. That's probably something that I would do though, because I like doing the. I like the idea of like, oh my god, I have 100% of all the Pokemon. Like that's it built up to that. any other thoughts from anyone that has anyone from the outside of the Pokemon people? Any thoughts on Pokemon?
Yeah, I played Pokemon Go for a long time. And one of the things that I really liked that they did differently was they would have community days where they pick like one weekend out of the month and they're like, all right, today is going to be all about routes. And so like you would go to like your favorite park and there would just be so many freaking routes, like literally tripping over them. But the big claim was that the chance of getting a shiny routes was much higher than it normally is. It would still be like single digit percentage points, like maybe 1 or 2% chance, but if you caught 200 of them, not only would you be able to power one up really strong, you'd also have really strong non-shiny versions, and you could hold on to them to trade them later. So shiny hunting can be kind of annoying or like work intensive in some games, but Pokemon Go, they found a way to make it fun and like community focused.
I remember this was in a pre-COVID world. We were in downtown, and it was during a Bagon Community Day.
Yep.
Was it? And we both. Did you get one too?
Yeah, I did.
Well, we both
Actually,
ended up getting a shiny Salamence by the end of the day.
Yep. I also, on the Torchic Community Day, I got a shiny Blaziken, which my phone screen is not wanting to show, but my Blaziken is one of my favorite Pokemon, so having a shiny of it fucking rules.
Yeah. Pokemon Go is one of those things that, like, really passed me. Like, I just was not into the idea of it, but, I also totally I love that it was a lot more of a casual Pokemon experience for people to enjoy. Kind of similar to, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, isn't it like the Let's Go Pokemon games kind of like that too, where it's a little bit more casual than like other
much
Pokemon?
Much more casual, structured like a regular Pokemon game.
Yeah, but just
there's no wild Pokemon battles
or like items or stuff like that.
Or items or abilities. It's just like, oh, here's a Pokemon, use them.
Yeah.
Here's a fucking overpowered as fuck Eevee that you could do the entire game with.
Right. Any other thoughts on Pokemon or Pokemon Go?
I like Pokemon Go because when I fight, I can just tap the screen a bunch, and I don't have to think too hard.
I like that Walsh he's like leaning back now. He's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, just tap the screen a bunch and Matt's like,
I'm leaning into the microphone so I can, because I think my audio this episode is going to be a little quiet. But we'll see.
It's okay. I'll figure it out. I'll shit out. You tap the screen. It's the complete dichotomy of I like Pokemon Go because I tap the screen about it, and Matt's just like
I make him fast.
right. I love when the flamethrower mixed with the fucking. I'm
gonna use this rock type move on the Clefairy. Just get rid of the Clefairy.
Yeah,
and then I can deal all the damage on the Solgaleo that's right there.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it just breaks my brain. It's great.
Yep.
But I appreciate Pokemon, and I'm actually I don't love Pokemon. I'm very excited for Arceus, Pokemon Legends Arceus. That's nice. I like the idea of that. Is like,
Chris,
I'm interested.
Not knowing anything about Pokemon, which starter are you choosing from Arceus?
Oh, the Rowlet.
Rowlet, okay. You seem like a Rowlet.
I love that little. It just reminds me of my cat Leo so much. Leo rarely gets a podcast mention. He deserves that more. Anyways, with that all being said, folks, thank you all so much for tuning in. It's probably our shortest episode that we've had to date, but I do want to do something new a little bit at the end here. We usually we decide on a topic for these a week or two before we actually record it, and I'm like, no, let's have something prepared ahead of time, and so that way you, the viewer, can even talk about it and add us and tell us about a game that you want that you like under the topic. So April's topic is going to be puzzle games. Tell us about your favorite puzzle games. Add us at the Gaming Coop. Use the hashtag the Gaming Coop, or whatever. Just get to us. Reach out to us, and we may, if you do, we may read your comment on air.
I like Tetris.
And with that, yeah, Tetris is good. Tetris was a good segue into puzzle games for April. There you go. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Fuck white supremacy, and game on. The Gaming Coop is brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Follow us on Twitter at The Gaming Coop, or follow our other work at Team Chaos Pods.